If I get home and my missus has bought tiger bread, I can look at it in the corner of the kitchen and I just, fuck it.
Yeah, it's the smell as well. It just gets you.
I don't care.
Hello and welcome to the 5th episode of HighSobriety podcast. I'm your host, Matt Busbridge, and today I'm joined by a good friend, even though we've never met before, but it's Rich from Rich London PR. Rich, how are you, mate?
Very good, mate, and it is very weird that we've never met, but I feel like I know you because I've booked models from you times and time, or from this place and other model agencies you've worked at over the years, and I've just known that you were very similar to me, so I sort of avoided you in a way where I didn't need another me. I think you're so similar in personality, always allows to sort of stay out, pushing people to stay out longer, and I just. It's like my little crew of friends, my friendship group. Everyone's got their own part to play, and I felt like, I think I've heard you say it before. I was the fashion guy, and I just wanted to have fun, more fun. Let's not make the fun stop. So there's people like you dotted around everywhere in my life, and sometimes I've thought. It's hard work. It's hard work because I'm setting the pace. I'm setting the pace of a night out quite often. Not anymore, but I was setting the pace, and I think you're a pacemaker as well.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like pull the ladder up.
Handing out steroids to all the runners. Like let's go faster. So yeah, man, it's like a pleasure to meet you. But like I say, I feel like I met you before. And the mad thing is, I'm nearly 3 years sober, but I think it must have been about a year ago. I got like a voice message from you, and it was just like, you sounded like down in the dumps, and it was like, hey Rich, I've seen what you're doing there, really hats off to you. I'm thinking I'm 2 months sober, I'm in a bit of and it was brilliant because you asked for some advice, and we went back and forth lots and lots, and now you're flying doing this. So
no, honestly, I do appreciate that because it's a really sort of taboo subject, and I think it's one that is very difficult for people to be honest about and admit that you have got a problem with substance and alcohol abuse. And even in the industry that we work in, the idea of doing this podcast was to sort of have a bigger outreach to individuals that work within the arts, but also make it very sort of comfortable for them to come forward about it. And you was the main person. I think obviously we've always sort of like come up in each other's lives, whether that's through social media, like you said, in regards to emails. And you was, to me, you was like an inspiration to do it, but and more inspiring because you're within the realm that I'm working in. You know what I mean? So you've been through the same kind of shit with the free parties and the, going here and there for shoots and like the party atmosphere that you get from like, working within the fashion industry. So that was kind of the main outreach to you, mate.
Yeah, but it's like I said earlier, I've sort of almost put it in a box now under the bed, the drinking phase, and when you called me to do this, it was like I start thinking about it again, and it is sort of it's a stage in my life now that I look back on. It was good, but I feel a bit embarrassed of it, like because. I wouldn't be where I am today without that period of time. But everyone that drinks, like I said, you get in the morning, you go, oh, do you remember when Johnny threw a kebab at Dave? Oh yeah, and that random girl got in our car, and then Sarah puked up everywhere, and then the minicab driver got arrested, and it's just like. It's a bit embarrassing, when you get to a certain age. Maybe when you're 18, 19, it is quite funny because you've got your independence and you're just pushing the boundaries. But
it's kind of also that, like, obviously you work for lads magazines and stuff. I think there is definitely like it kind of epitomises that lad culture. Do you know what I mean? Fucking Dave got in a fight last night, took out two geezers, and he did this and that and the other, and it's like, oh yeah, go on. Do you know what I mean? It is like ingrained in our society that it's a manly thing to do, geezery thing to do. But luckily, I think with social media,
tipping the seesaw a bit the other way. Like there's equal amount of healthy, positive, adventure, adrenaline-seeking stuff as there is boozy geezers, hooligan fighting, socialising. So I just started unfollowing certain people that were just a bit too much for me. And then on the other side, I'd start following people. Okay, I'd sort of understand. And gradually I started following more of that person, and I started to see people that were like me or had similar jobs, or even more crazy. You know, some people from like Jackass and Dayton from Dirty Sanchez. So some of these sort of mayhem type people that I'd met in my previous magazine world, going sober, and I'm thinking, wow, now really, if they can do it, then and they really look like they're living life with their kids and stuff. So yeah, just started following a different crowd, I guess, and seems to be working so far. Although I get the urge now and again, certain different occasions that I've not. I feel it's like a computer game. You know, you do a pub without drinking, you do sunbathing on the beach without drinking, a funeral, a wedding, and there's just different stages, and each one is like, okay, take that off the list.
Does it feel like it's a checklist sometimes?
Yeah,
It's like, cool, I've done those bits.
I've done it. Yeah, a work party, or it's sometimes you just don't know what to do. Like when you go to the races with mates, and it's walking around with a coffee, and it just didn't really. It feels weird, almost like there's no point in being in certain places. But yeah, no, we're here.
Exactly.
So it's all good, and hats off to you for
Thank you. I appreciate
for
it.
getting this far, and you look well, and you look much more healthier. And like I said, once you've kicked it, you start becoming a bit more of a doer, and you set this thing up. As well as working, and some people like, I'd love to do something like this, and it just procrastinate or whatever it's called. Don't quite do it, but you've just done it, so yeah.
I think it's definitely, you've got to find that happy balance, mate, because obviously you don't want to become a hermit and fucking sit indoors and do nothing and sort of stare away from everyone. You know, you've also got to remember, like, I had a really interesting conversation with my friends the other evening, and these are guys that I went to school with. And I was kind of saying to them, like, you know, I feel like a changed man. You know, I was such an arsehole back in the day. And they even sat down and said to me, like, Matt, you wasn't an arsehole. Like, they said, we wouldn't still be friends with you if you was an arsehole. They said that you just had a bit of a tipping point when the sort of drinking got involved and stuff like that. So I think a lot of it, even though you feel elements of shame, I think, do you know what I mean? That wasn't you. Do you know what I mean? That's how I kind of look at things. It was like you was influenced by outside sources to be that way inclined. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think, you know, it's tough.
Life is tough, and it's throwing loads of shit at you all the time, and then everyone's looking for an easy fix, an obstacle's coming your way. You don't want to smash it out the way. You just want to maybe go under it, or find a little secret. And drinking for me was, and when I got to like 13, 14, I think, when I don't know the science behind it, but I think I was quite an anxious person. Suddenly these like under 18 nightclubs popped up around my area, and we were like, yeah, let's go there. So we'd get someone to buy some cider, blah, 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 and we'd go. So from that age, when you're developing into an adult, your muscles are growing, your hair's growing, you're growing in size, and internally, I think mentally, you're still growing, and your confidence, your courage, and your self-esteem is still growing. And I think what a lot of people do, when that's not fully grown, they get on the beers. So you find yourself in a nightclub or a bar in a social situation, and you've never actually trained your mind to be in that situation, because the alcohol is like the cheat code. It's like doing an exam and then getting a cheat code, passing it, and you actually don't know the subject ever. You know, and I got to 40-year-old or whatever, quit alcohol, and I'd never been in a pub or I'd never been to a meal with more than a few people without a drink, and it was like terrifying. I was literally just holding on to a coffee, just sweating. But once everyone's on their second beer, you notice they're saying stuff. That was a bit weird. Or third beer. Hang on, you'd never do that normally. What are you doing? And they start behaving completely different. And you, as a sober person, it's quite comforting because suddenly you're straight and like all your marbles are together, and Dave's on the table. What are you doing, Dave? What are you doing? What's she saying?
From accounts.
What's she talking about? What's she talking about the boss like that for? And it's absolute madness.
I know what you mean.
And what I find, once everyone gets on their second or third pint, I just relax. Because everyone just talks, everyone just becomes, that, you think, everyone's going to think I'm boring for not drinking. But suddenly I'll just become almost like I'm in control. And you walk to the bar and it's like some sort of like Star Wars film when everyone,
the canteen,
aliens, just like it's like look at you, and you sort of look at the barman who's sober, and suddenly it's like you have this connection with the barman, and I say to the barman, "Can I have a non-alcoholic beer, please, or can I have a coffee?" And they, "Yeah, sure, mate, no problem," and it's like. It's no problem, and then you can drive home and stuff. So there is a little bit of FOMO sometimes, especially in the beginning when they start going, oh, we're gonna go here afterwards, or and then they say what happened the next day, or they might even say, oh, we went somewhere. We're always trying to network in our industry, so a lot of the numbers and stuff get exchanged maybe at the after party or whatever, and people come in and, oh yeah, we got that. We met the creative director of Diesel last night at that place, and I'm thinking, oh, good. But at the same time, you got no hangover, no calm down,
and also you don't know like the amount of bollocks I used to speak to people when I used to be out and about, and it'd be trying to sort of make connections with clients. But you're just chatting shit in someone's ear. And I think sometimes they just do it to be like, can you just fuck off, here's my card, just leave me alone, do you know what I mean?
I feel like anyone I see from my days, I grew up in Southampton, and people from those days, I just want to apologise to every single one of them, because I don't know. Like I said, I wouldn't be here without that, and it was just a constant battle. And I think it all depends. The sobriety thing, I think it all depends on what type of person you are. And like you said, there's a lot of almost like cults of sober people. There's certain types of sober people, but me and you were the out people. We want to wear good clothes, listen to good music, dance floor, out nightclub, boom, boom, and a certain type of person I think we were, and I've not really connected with that many of the sober podcasts and stuff, because they're either too drink, I never used to drink in the morning or anything like that. I never used to be like what I would class as a textbook alcoholic. I guess I was more a social alcoholic, socially acceptable alcoholic. But this is what we need more of, because it's just slightly under the radar. You're not going to go to the doctors or phone a helpline because I go out 4 times a week. Because in some people's mind, that's not bad enough. Yeah. I could go out on a Tuesday with one set of friends, a Wednesday with one set of friends, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday night with all my local friends at one point. And towards the end, when you're getting older and older, all your friends sort of have families and kids and stuff, and there's only your work friends and the occasional blowout with your old friends, and then drinking at home. And I don't really want to do that. I was doing it. You know, the boxing's on at home. You have beers, or the football's on at home, or there's any excuse.
Yeah,
you know, get out,
an event.
Watch a film. You know, and I think having kids for me was motivation as well, because they're both boys. They both got my genes. Luckily, they've probably got more of my missus's genes, but they're both lads. They like fashion, and I didn't want to be what they call a pub dad. You know, like beer belly and just clothes that I used to wear when I was 20. Don't fit anymore. Sitting there, just
existing,
just licking on a pint glass, and then going to the football, just trying to cling on to that lad life. So I wanted to just be more present for them.
How would you, sorry to interrupt, but as a father, how, like, I'm just trying to engage as to like how you would outlay that to your boys, like in terms of if they started drinking, or like would you be that dad who's just like, no, I've been there, got the t-shirt, I'm here if you want to talk to me, or would you be like, don't do that, don't involve yourself with this certain drugs?
It's been a little bit of a mixture, because I don't want to influence them in any shape or form. I think the older boys sort of tinkered with it, and I'm more like you said, listen, let's talk about it. Let's talk about what strength vodka is, because you don't really know. Kids don't really work it out. What strength that is, if you want to do that way. If you're going to a party, I would probably rather, we're not quite there yet, but I'd probably rather let them take 4 bottles of Corona than be at the party and then not have anything and just scurry around for whatever's in the corner and just, you know, just anything. So it's tough. Like, I mean, I just haven't really, I didn't want to be that guy. I thought I would when I was young. I thought, oh, when I have kids, I can't wait for the day we have a pint together. Oh, it's going to be so good. You know, it's going to just me and the boys. Imagine if I've got 2 boys, I can sit in a pub and we can chat about horror. But when it came round to it, we've put them in an all-boys school. Moved from Brixton to Epsom. I didn't want them to be like this, like that. And as much as in the back of my head, it would seem quite a romantic kind of, you know, beers with my boys, you know.
Why is that a thing though? Do you know what I mean? Even with me, it used to always be a thing like, oh, I'd love to go for a beer with my dad. And my dad wasn't really a pub person, but it's just like, it's ingrained in us.
I think it's just some sort of bonding thing where your dad might let their guard down a little bit, and you're sort of a bit sort of excited to see what your dad's like with his guard down a bit. And I'm thinking, what would my kids be like with their guard down a bit? But I'm thinking, fuck that. I'd rather just be a bit more of a shield to it for them. You know, they can see that I work in fashion. I'm doing stuff that's kind of relevant to them, and not too much of an embarrassment. I can go skating with them, and they see I don't drink. I can go to the football with them, take them places. When I'm on holiday now, I'm not like that dad they're like, Dad, I want to play crazy golf. I want to do this. Can I do this? Can you come and help me with this? I used to be more, you know, now me and your mum are drinking. You go and play with your kids. You go and play with mates. And now, if it's like, oh, I want to play 5-a-side football, Dad, tomorrow morning. I mean, one time when I really noticed it was we went to Newquay with a good mate of mine, Barney's family, and they got kids the same age, and they're all big getting to skating, and there's a brilliant park there. And he said, tomorrow let's get up early and go to skate park 8 o'clock. I thought, yeah, cool. Whilst we were drinking in the clubhouse.
Territory, yes, man.
And I'll be up, great, get up, just after. In the morning, the kids were up for it. Let's get up early, Dad. In the morning, I'd only had like 4 or 5 beers, bottles, and well, it's quite a lot for me to be fair, but I just had a banging headache, and what should have been a really great sort of family, boys, skating, sun, sea view, I was just waiting for it to finish. And I was thinking, and I'm always sort of like trying to never show that, but I was just clinging on to a bottle of water, and that was actually one of the moments where I thought, I've lost a couple of hours of like a potential really good memory. Myself anyway, being selfish, the kids that still skated and stuff. But I thought, that's shit. If I can't get up for 8 o'clock, that's shit. So that was one big, I remember thinking that was a bit of a wake-up call. And it was just starting to encroach on my potential good memories with my family and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, now it's very strange. I mean, one of the strangest times is, so when we go on holiday, sometimes we go to these like all-inclusive places. The kids really like that stuff. I mean, there's a place in Spain somewhere, I can't remember where. And it's like a set formula for like English and people that go to those holidays. Yeah. They have a meal, like scoff it all up, shovel it all in, and then they go back, get changed, come down all dressed up, and then there's this entertainment and people are just smashing drinks.
Yeah.
And then you go to bed at about 1, pissed, and all the kids just play it together. And it's shit entertainment, like terrible, shocking,
stuff
like shocking. No one, everyone's, and it was just nothing to do. It's like, I was like, hang on a minute, what are we going to do? So we found ourselves going to bed at like 10:30 or 11, and I was getting up and going to the gym, changed the whole dynamic of the holiday, and but it was good. It was good, and I was getting up at like 7, doing this like, because you see on the board on holiday, it's like all these things that I'd never ever been to, you know, like 7 a.m. CrossFit or 10 a.m. a run, and I thought, wow, I'm going to give that a go. I went down there, and it was just a whole new species of human that I'd never really interacted with. You know, like people that look like us, like fit and healthy people, but they hadn't drunk last night, and they were pretty cool people. I met a whole bunch of people. Oh yeah, I'm from London, exchanging numbers and stuff, and it was just a whole different holiday. So that's been very different. So I'm trying to apply that to home a bit more. So trying to do things like, I'll give yoga a go. If I don't like it, then I'll try something else. So
we've got that time now, and when Rich came on here, like the other Rich, he was basically saying how you start to realise that there's actually 7 days in a week.
The weekend feels like...
The weekend throws me out because I get there and I'm like, I don't know what I'm meant to be doing with myself.
I wake up on a Sunday and I say, are you driving the kids to school? And Sunday. And it's mad. But I mean, the time is been, not so much now, but in the beginning, once I'd got through what felt like, the first level of being 6 months or of being no drinking, I was thinking, what am I going to do with all this time? Because before I was just sort of like sitting on the sofa, sort of going, am I going to get through this? Clinging on to non-alcoholic beer and just biting my fist. So I got to this point where and then I thought, the only thing I put my name down for something where I can't drink, because like women have kids, they can't drink. So I thought, that would be good if I had a kid. But so I put my name down for like a white collar boxing fight with like, I don't know, 10 weeks boxing camp, and that meant that bought me another 8 to 10 weeks because no one's drinking, and then everyone, there might have been 30 odd lads and girls that were on the camp, and then within that group was loads of people like me, like that were doing the same thing, or they don't drink and they live a perfectly brilliant life without drink. So I forced myself into this little bubble of people that all were setting themselves a goal, And regardless of the boxing part, we all just bonded like some sort of big brother, or I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. We're twice a week, how you doing, Dave? You know, doctors, mechanics, all different people, and I met really good friends on that, and that brought me another 10 weeks, and then I've recovered from that a bit, and I sort of just scoffed loads of biscuits and stuff, and I thought, shit, my addictive kind of personality's come back. And I started, because for me, I think it must be the same as just when you were on a big blowout, you sort of just want to forget all your stress, and you sort of just want to. Same with smoking. I smoke a lot, and I just want to. I don't know whether it was escapism or whether it was just I just like that feeling of just shutting off, putting myself on standby, because I think I must have some sort of ADHD where my brain's just going all the time, like so many different ideas, and that just put myself on standby. But now I try and do the same with biscuits, and if I get home and my missus has bought tiger bread, I can look at it in the corner of the kitchen and I just, fuck it.
Yeah, it's the smell as well. It just gets you.
I don't care. I'm going to just, you're mine. And I could pretty much do a whole loaf.
Yeah.
And it's so dangerous because after it, I think, oh, terrible. It's the same with
still in you.
Anything, chocolate.
This has become like an addiction because
that's it.
I throw videos out sometimes. I deleted one that I put on last night because I was like, you don't need to keep putting shit up. Like, and it's just like, well, I have to. Like, people need to see this and they need to listen to this. And it's just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, you just got to just find other addictions. Like, I try the gym, try and make that an addiction, set goals. Just random other stuff I just do that isn't, you know, like I said to this girl at work the other day, because a lot of people, you know, it's amazing that mental health and depression and everything is so openly talked about now. But one thing I think a lot of people don't think, it's because it's like normalised. You know, I had terrible sort of anxiety growing up, but I didn't once think for 1 minute, maybe you should stop drinking. Like if you went to the car mechanics and they said your car hasn't passed the test, MOT, because we found loads of fairy liquid in the engine, Rich. Why have you been putting fairy liquid in there? Or why have you been putting bubble gum in where you're meant to put the windscreen wiper wash? It obviously is going to affect it, isn't it? Of course. So if you're this whole person that eats Big Mac chocolates and drinks beers on the week, or drinks beer, you're obviously going to have some sort of rust. You know,
for sure.
I would say to anyone who's got problems with mental health, try and clean the slate before you even think about, you know, breathing exercise, meditation, or all that sort of stuff. I wish I'd done that. You know, just gone, right, let's just put good stuff in my body and then see where I am, and then we can go from there. Because I remember going to the doctors and, you know, them asking me what my lifestyle was like, and I was hungover, and I was like, they look at you and think, well, it's not a wonder you're struggling. At least get back to a ground level playing field, and you can see what.
But it was such an easy thing though. Like even for me, drugs and that. Like I said to my counsellor the other day, it was just like I treated drugs and alcohol like it was my partner. Like instead of having to have these deep talks when I was feeling depressed and down, it was so much easier to go to something that I knew was a quick fix, and I could get it like that, and I didn't have to explain my story, and I didn't have to like burden people with my shit, because that's how I felt initially with a lot of my life so far. Is I didn't want to talk about stuff because it seemed to, whether it was a girlfriend I was with or whether it was a family member or a friend, it was more like I didn't want to burden them with my stuff. It was right listening to their shit and trying to sort that out. But then when it come to me, I was like, cool, I'm just going to go and get some gear in, or I'm going to go and have a drink.
So have you found it like, do you had stuff you think you were keeping in and maybe not talking to people about, maybe, I don't know, some sort of trauma or?
Yeah, I mean, I do, like, with me, when I do have problems, I do talk about. I don't let it like manifest inside me, but it was like really key stuff. Whether that could be like how a relationship. Like, it was very much in relationships I found because I would just self-sabotage. If you know, I've sort of seen myself as this like savior who goes into situations like a rescuer. But I forget me, and I'm trying to do that. And when I can't do that, because sometimes if it's a psychological or mental issue with the partner and she's dealing with trauma, I can't fix that. But because I can't fix that, I see myself as a fucking disgrace, and you're a failure, and you're this. So that's where I'm at the moment in my life, is like I was saying about like validation, external or internal. Like, I don't internally validate what I'm doing a lot of the time because it's that self-confidence. And this is stuff like you were saying about muscle memory from experiencing stuff, but not actually dealing with things. Like, you just went straight to drugs and alcohol. Like, that's how I am now. Because I didn't have that training. So I was like, what is this that I'm feeling? I'm sensing everything.
Like a gym for your confidence. I don't know. Go walk into a place and there's 50 people looking at you, but I think for me, like after a weird thing, after 3 months of not drinking, I started getting really bad nightmares. My dad died in a car crash about 10 years ago, and I never really talked about it that much. And also, like when I was sort of 17, 18 to about 20, living back home, we would get ourselves in a lot of trouble, a lot of fights and violence and sort of gang rubbish stuff. And all that sort of stuff happened when I was drinking. And I think I'd never really thought about it properly until I'd gone no drink. So all these memories were just popping back in my head, you know, getting beaten up with my dad. So I had to go, I went to and I was waking up and I was like grieving because my dad had been in my dream. And I was like, oh, this is really weird. Maybe these are all sort of thoughts and feelings that were trapped in my head that I just put in a drawer in my brain. So I went to a counsellor because I went to the GP, said what the situation, and they gave me this free counsellor. It's like 8 sessions and on Zoom. And it was a bit weird at the beginning, but I think it was the second to last and the last one. He really hit a nerve where it was like about my dad not really seeing my career and me being sober and all this sort of stuff. And I was in floods of tears. I was literally blubbering like a baby in front of this Zoom. And I wish unfortunately you don't really get to, because it's a GP thing, you just never see from them again. But I closed the laptop and I just felt brilliant. I was like, I felt like I'd squeezed a dirty sponge. And that was brilliant. And I just thought to myself, I've got to talk about it more, and that's why these things are good. And it's like, I've had so many ups and downs with my sort of mental health, and just kept it on the lowdown. And I remember my kids' friends' parents invited us round to this kind of like parents' barbecue, and it was a bit, and everyone's drinking, obviously, and it's when I was still drinking. We're talking about panic attacks or something, and I went, oh yeah, I'll take citalopram for that. And they all looked at me and went, and they looked, it was like a dead silence, all these dads, and they went, this guy went, I'll take the same stuff. And then this other guy later went, you mentioned that earlier, I'll take that stuff as well. And we were having these sort of secret conversations on WhatsApp with each other, one-on-one. And it's just, but really, you should put it on your CV. It should be like, okay, that balances out this, and that's cool, you know, because I think a lot of people start their jobs and they've got this like elephant in the room, and they might feel, I'd much rather, just let us know if you've got a problem with OCD or just let us know. I had a girl at work recently, and And we went out on a work do, and she went, oh yeah, had a few drinks, and she went, oh yeah, it's a bit bad. I've got a really bad phobia. What's that? Oh, stickers. And I oh okay, oh yeah, that's yeah, talking about it. And I thought, fuck, in the office, the fridge is just covered in stickers. Yeah. And even, I love stickers, right? Yeah. So if I ever get a sticker, I'll stick it on stuff. Microwave stickers. Even the kettle. So she goes, yeah. It's funny, when I started at your place, I phoned my mum and said, look, Mum, there's stickers all over the kettle and the fridge. And I was like, if only you told me.
I still won't take them off.
No, I did. I took them off the kettle. And I'd rather buy a new fridge than take them off that way. But I think I almost feel like the best staff I've ever had are people that have been more open with their stuff. Yeah. This girl started with me, and she'll know who it is, but. And she'd be good to come on here actually, but she started, and for her, she was going to start in January, but she said, "I'll come on Christmas do." Right? Yeah. And I said, "Oh, we've got a tab at the bar, and help yourself." And she went, "I don't drink." Like literally, that's probably the first thing I'd ever said to her, and I thought that was so like confident and so like. Full stop. Like it wasn't like, well, the thing is, I'm thinking of having a drink. I might just have a water tonight. Or some people might make an excuse and say, oh, just.
You know what it's like, though, don't you? Well, you've got a group of lads as well. And like I've been in situations where they're like, oh, we've got a woman's drink higher. I just don't want to drink tonight.
Like, she just went. It was just like, boof, I don't drink. Yeah. There was no comeback. It was so confident. I think that is the thing to say. I've tried it a few times, and it's just shut down.
Yeah, and it's straight away.
You don't get any comeback from it. But no, mate, I don't drink. That's just it.
But it's the weird thing is for us as well. Obviously, we've both dabbled in drugs. And stuff. So it's like. You'd be out with your mates and it'd be a case of, oh, should we get some gear in tonight? And if you go, no, I'm good, thank you, mate, and I'm all right, they're like, oh, yeah, no worries. But then when you're like, I'm not drinking tonight, oh, come on, you fucking pussy, like, have a drink. Like,
but you know what though, like, those sort of mates, realistically, I've had to sort of, I mean, I'm no good to them anymore. Yeah. Like, really, I mean, I will probably, they're still mates, but there's lads that really, their night out is still a few pints, packet, strip club. That's why that place down the road's shut now. I just went past it. And it's just a complete escapism. They don't, so
it's patterns, isn't it?
So it's a pattern. It's like hold my hand and we'll jump off the cliff. And it's better if you're holding someone's hand. If you're like let's I don't know. Maybe realistically it is obviously ridiculously unhealthy, and because you've got a mate doing it with you.
You normalise it, don't you?
Dave did it. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. And it's like we all did it. Yeah. It's like when your kids say, "Oh no, we all did it." No. Everyone's doing it. I've never known so many people doing Charlie until now. Like now, it's more prevalent than ever. Normalised, I think.
Yeah, I mean, every fucker's doing it. You just go to the pub, and it used to be, especially when I started doing it, obviously it's an expensive drug, but then you've got like all the fucking tradies that are in the pub, and you've got like the old geezer in there like doing it. It's just
I was pretty lucky because, like, I think, I mean, it was a habit. It was a habit for a long time, and then one day we used to go on little road trips. And we went to a road trip to Brighton, and we used to get this Travelodge, and we used to we used to say one of us had got a broken leg, so we needed a disabled room, so there was more beds. So we'd pull up with a crutch, and then about 4 or 5 of us would go into this Travelodge room, and then got on it. And I said, I drove, so I've got a double bed. Yeah, cool. And then we got back, we were late at night, getting on it, blah, blah, blah. And then my mates jumped in, 2 mates jumped in double bed. I said, I kicked off because I said I was in double bed. And we got in a massive fight, smashed up the room, smashed up each other. And they both left and went, "You're a fucking prick, Rich." And they left, slept. Was it Reading or was it Brighton? Reading. They slept in Reading Station in the snow, and I didn't talk to them for a week. My 2 best mates. I didn't talk to them for a year, and that's my 2 best mates. And that was the last time I ever did it. And I thought, how mad is that? Like, we had a big fight over a double bed, and it was like, and they didn't talk to me, and I was like, for the whole that year, I was like, I was just feeling sorry for myself. They were just getting on with their life, having a laugh and stuff, but that was a big lesson. But the thing for me was like, some people have got different motivators when it came to going out. Some people just wanted to escape. I like the attention. I like the attention. I like clothes. I like dressing up. And I like girls. And going out was
peacock.
Attention, peacock, attention. Look at him. He's got. And I was addicted to that attention. And I was. Back in the day, I was pretty handsome, right? I reckon. Not the ultimate model, whatever, but I was just enough. I was good chat, and so I was quite good at that. Like, and so it became an addiction. But I needed the drink to sustain that. Like I said, I hadn't really ever been in a bar without drink, so. It probably wasn't really me that was doing that. I was in there dancing, yeah. And then that was my motivator. So I always wanted to just meet more people. Just became just a social guy. No, that's probably why I ended up setting up a PR company, because my network was so big, people everywhere. I was a social guy. And it's made it more hard now because my network is so big, but feels a little bit broken in parts, because a lot of those people I've known for a long time. But like you said, the ones that are proper friends, they'll probably be going through similar feelings that you're going through, as long as you're fully honest with yourself.
There's definitely, like I was saying earlier, that element of loneliness. I think that's that stage is what I'm going through a lot at the moment. And I mean, obviously I was in a relationship last year, so I had someone around me when I was going through this sobriety process, and now I've kind of moved back into my flat on my own. And it's very like, being alone with your thoughts is a really tough thing to be with, and analysing, and you know what I mean, like thinking about the past.
I definitely went through that, and it reminded me of when I was growing up. We all got so bored of Southampton. I said, let's go travelling. I've seen the beach and it looked well good. Yeah, let's go travelling. And when it came to it, they all said, nah, let's go next month. So I thought, I'll go and buy my ticket and I'll go on my own. I'll buy my ticket and then they'll come. But they never did. So I went on my own, and I went to the travel shop before I went, and I said, look, I might have to get a refund because none of my mates are coming. And they said, you'll get out there and you will meet people. Trust it. So I did it, and I became so lonely and bored. Like, I probably there for 2 or 3 days in Thailand, and I was sitting there, my stomach was churning at the bar, and I was like, oh my God, this doesn't feel. I'm so lonely and so sort of on my own that something inside of me just went, you all right, mate? Where are you from? I was like, oh, that's weird. And what I found with not drinking, going through social media, and I'm seeing, my mate Neil from 10 years ago, he started doing windsurfing. Or my mate Andy, he's signed up for Kilimanjaro, and I'm just going, all right, mate. And my mate Sam, he likes camping, and I'm basically doing exactly what I used to do with drinking. I was planning my month. I go, all right, Johnny, fancy a pint on Thursday? That's Thursday done. All right, Dave, you fancy going to this club on Sunday? Go on, you'll be good, we good. I'm doing the same thing, but on the other end of the spectrum. I'm planning stuff, rekindling old friendships that I sort of blew out because I thought they might be a little bit. You like cycling? What do I like cycling for? But I'm thinking, might be all right. Oh, do you fancy? And I've been doing like, I met this guy recently at the skate park. He had his kid, and he had tattoos on his neck. He looked pretty cool guy, and I thought, I got chatting, and he didn't drink. And I was thinking, I just cling on to him. I was like, come here, come here. And he lived near me, and we got chatting. He's quite a good designer. And I said, it turns out he likes running. So, do you fancy meeting tomorrow for a 10K? And I was like, my missus was like, where are you going? I'm going to meet this guy.
My new pal.
And it was like, it was just so weird because he's exactly like me, loves jungle, drum and bass, has lived the same life. You'd get on with him. But he's just, so we on 10K chatting about everything. We'd be doing that loads. And then he said, Rich, when I was about 20, I got into downhill mountain biking. It's mad. Brr. I went, oh yeah? He goes, you fancy it? And I went, yeah. Go on then. And he said, okay, I'll hire the bikes. You can go to this place, loads of tracks. And turned up, like a school trip, and it was brilliant. Like just completely something new, fresh. I've never even tried it in my life before. And so I've found myself keeping my eyes open a little bit. Like when I was traveling on my own, I'd get on a boat going from one island to the other, and I'd be on my own, and I'd be looking around the boat thinking, who can I go and say hello to that's a bit like me? And it was brilliant because you got the freedom of, when you're with your mates, you felt like very much like...
It's like herd mentality, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh my God, Richard's chatting to that guy over there, throwing stuff at me, like, why are you doing that? And they're just calling me names. But when you're on your own, no one's there to take the piss. If I went running with that guy and it turned out it was something weird and he was being weird to me, it'd be funny. I would laugh myself, and it's just one of them. I don't have to tell anyone. It's just no one's there to see it. So my advice on that would just be to just join a few clubs. I joined this boxing gym near me. There's a few people that are sort of similar to me. I just been more talkative. Which is mad, which I wouldn't have been before. Like
that's the confidence element again. You know what I mean?
It's completely mad. Like I've seen on my social recently. Like what I've always done a little bit, especially when I've had a few beers. I'll go up to someone and say, "Oh, that jacket! That jacket is unbelievable, mate!" And they tell me all about the jacket. And then even only in the last few weeks, I thought, I'm going to film that. I just put my phone out.
I've seen them, they're great.
And it's just, I feel like more confident. I feel like more confident just to talk to any type of person.
And you find when you do, people will talk to you back. Do you know what I mean? It's not a case of someone goes, fuck off, you weirdo.
All sorts of people. Everyone is completely all right. No one wants any aggro.
No.
Like, I don't have road rage so much anymore. I don't have arguments so much anymore, really, or grudges. You know, I think I just look to other people for inspiration, and I would think like drinking. I mean, it's a bit. Sometimes I find it a little bit awkward when, if I'm, say, like my son's got a girlfriend and I get chatting to her dad, and he's a bit of a geezer, or he's quite sensible, an accountant or whatever. And do you want to drink, Rich? And I go, oh no, sorry mate, I don't drink. They assume because you've got tattoos that you fell off you were homeless. They assume that I've been homeless and oh shit, this is a bad influence for my children. Why are you surrounding yourself by this guy? He obviously used to be homeless. Dad's at the football team and stuff like that. I feel like sometimes they think, he's not telling us, but it's not really. I feel like it was a computer game that I completed. Like if you complete, or if you complete a computer game, I remember almost completing GoldenEye, but you don't really play it that much anymore. And if you do, it's just to kill time a little bit. But you've got to the point where you killed the end level baddie. Sometimes when I was a kid, we used to buy a computer game, open it really carefully, play it, complete it, put it back, and take it back, get a refund. And that's what I feel like drinking was. I feel like I completed it. Like I went to all the best clubs, did all the things that you're supposed to do, ups and downs, and I thought, at my age, I started drinking with younger people, new generations of people. Let's go to this club, Rich. And I was thinking, it's not quite as good as it was. Or I'm just going round in circles, just with another bunch of younger people, and I'm just that 45-year-old guy that's going out with 25-year-olds or whatever, and I've got to move on. I've got to move on and do something, and keep pushing the envelope and keep giving myself different memories. You only live once, so it's like once you've done, I don't know, all these different nightclubs and crazy things that you're supposed to do when stag do's and all sorts of things that you do when you're drunk. It's like I've done it all, and I think
life sometimes gives you a limitation. It's as if we're born with a certain amount of alcohol that we're meant to consume in our lifetime, but me and you have just done it too quickly and too soon. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, okay, that's done now.
And I was thinking, I love, if you haven't seen it, there's a music video, like the Bicep Glue music video, and it's basically set from the perspective of a guy who's 45, 50, sitting in the sofa drinking. He's got 2 kids and a boring wife, and the visuals are his memory of driving to nightclubs, this, that, and the subtitles are his thoughts. And I just didn't want to be that guy, just always talking about what life used to be like back in the 90s. I mean, no, I do bang on about it, but you've always got to keep creating new memories, not going around like in the same hamster wheel.
Same stories.
Thursday night drinks. Oh, Sarah was sick. Kebab. Johnny broke his ankle. And it's like, there's just loads of other stuff to do. Like, like I said, I got in touch with my mate Neil, who I could see on his Instagram, he'd gone sober. And when we were young, he was a stoner. He was like us. He was a leader of the pack, always out. He'd gone sober, and I was like, on the thing. Oh, that's amazing, mate. Brilliant. And he's talking, I've been doing a lot of walking up mountains and stuff. And I thought, okay. And I said, I saw someone do that. I saw one in Wales, Penny Fan. I said, what are you doing tomorrow? Let's go. And I said, we'll meet you there after work on Friday. So literally, I left work in Brixton, drove to a car park in Penny Fan in Wales, met him there, 8 in the evening, slept in the car, woke up in the morning, sheep all around the car, and we just went on a mission, and it was just brilliant.
Yeah.
It was
spontaneity.
It
and all
was
that
just
now.
brilliant.
Yeah.
And I thought, God, I feel crystal clear. And stuff like that, it's brilliant. When my son says, "Oh, Dad, can you pick me up?" And it's like midnight. I'm like, "Oh yeah, cool."
Yeah,
and
'cause I can.
And I think he's like really grateful that I'm not just a pub dad that's had 4 Stellas and no, I can't, Dad.
Yeah. I'm with the boys down the pub. Sort yourself out.
Yeah. No, like, I mean, so that's my main priority really at the minute, is just shielding my kids from the same thing, them being able to talk to me about anything. My parents were they were brilliant, but they were very straight in terms of like streetwise, not very streetwise. So like I couldn't really talk to them about anything if it was just an alien concept. I was born in a very traditional Welsh village, and in Southampton it was a bit more modern. So I didn't really have anything to talk to, but I had to work it all out myself. Like I used to get really paranoid of smoking weed.
Yeah.
I thought I was like being abducted or by aliens or something. Like I thought it's a horrible feeling where I thought maybe that was the effect of the drug, but it's the worst feeling. And I didn't know what that was at all. Didn't even know there was no Google then.
Yeah, of course.
So I had to work it all out, and I just want to be able to just sit them down and say, look, even if you can't give in to peer pressure, like there was some times where someone would pass me something and I knew that I didn't want it. Sometimes I would say, "Cheers, mate," and then I'll go and do it in the toilet and then just dash it in the toilet. Yeah. And sometimes that's even my father-in-law. He had this new girlfriend. She cooked me salmon, and I couldn't bother to say I hate salmon. So I was just
moving it around the plate.
No. It's a plant, and I was burying it in this little yucca plant, and she was happy. I was happy, and sometimes that's just an easy way out, and you're almost laughing at the situation. You're like, I don't care whether I've wasted 50 quid's worth of something. I don't care. So that's my main priority really, is just trying to be healthy, and if I can help anyone that is going through the same thing, pressures of being social, pressures of anything, then it's brilliant. Anyone can take anything from this. Welcome to message me or whatever. I like giving a little bit back to the world.
Yeah, definitely, mate.
Now, but like I said, hats off for doing this thing.
Thank you, mate.
I think it's brilliant.
Thank you. I'm going to wrap it up, but what I usually do at the end of each conversation is ask the individual for their zero hero, as in their non-alcoholic drink that they tend to like when they're out and about, or if that's something you prefer or you don't, whereas I don't really like them. But
to be honest, if I'm out in the jungle and I'm in a busy place and I'm panicking, it is a saviour for me, because it's I've got something in my hand, I look the part. My best one I think is it Asahi?
Yeah.
I think that's what it's called. I don't like the Heineken ones really.
How about Lucky Saint?
Lucky Saint's good. Yeah, good. To be honest, if I'm out and I'm panicking, anything is good, because it just gives you something to hold. It's cold. It tastes a bit like beer. I can do 1, maybe 2. After that, I feel like I'm good. People are on their piss journey. So what's your best one?
I don't really drink them, mate. I'll be honest. I'm more of a pint of soda water and lime. That gives me, I think anything with a bit of citrus, or like, if you have like a ginger beer, or do you know what I mean? Something with a bit of a burn in it, it kind of feels like you're drinking something else apart from soft drink.
Yeah, I sometimes ask for a non-alcoholic cocktail, and they can feel madly like really real, because they got lemon and all sorts of stuff. Sometimes I'm like, huh, you sure? And another one I'm not sure of what to do is I've been in some places and I'm panicking and I'm thinking, I need, and I say, have you got a non-alcoholic beer? And they go, yeah. It's actually got 0.05% alcohol.
Is that okay?
And I'm thinking, is that cheating? I've been out with people that were alcoholics, and they say absolutely no way, because in their head they're back on it. So I've just avoided that, those little ones. So yeah, man, it's a journey. I mean, I feel after talking this long about it, I feel like I've been to counselling and I should pay you some money.
Don't be silly, mate. Pleasure. So nice to have you on here.
Thank you. It's good, man.
That was episode 5.
Counselling session with Matt. Then phone this number.
I'm going to charge him afterwards.
£500 for an hour.
Episode 5 in the bag, all done without the bag. But like, share, follow, and see you soon.